Hello everyone, this is Dr. Neema Chand and I'm starting a lecture series on spectroscopy. This is the introductory lecture where we will be touching the basics of spectroscopy, trying to clear our concepts about the technique involved, about the matters that are analyzed, and about the important components of spectroscopy. So let us begin. Science has come a long way, and spectroscopy has emerged as one of the strongest tools in the study of science. It is the solution for material analysis. In analytical chemistry, we use certain techniques and instruments that help us to investigate matter at its atomic or molecular levels. These instruments fall under the spectrum of spectroscopy. And by using these instruments, we are able to collect data about the composition, the volume, the electronic structure, the physical structure, and similar characteristics of any matter. So we can state that spectroscopy is an exploratory tool that is used for the analysis of matter. Now the big question comes, how spectroscopy helps us to achieve all of this? That is, how spectroscopy works. You see, spectroscopy measures and interprets the spectra that we obtain when any matter is irradiated with electromagnetic radiations. In simple words, we can state that spectroscopy is the study of the interaction of matter with electromagnetic radiations as a function of wavelengths. Now, when we look at this statement, it is very clear to know that there are two important components of spectroscopy. One is the electromagnetic radiations and the other is matter. So in order to study spectroscopy, let us first understand what electromagnetic radiations are. Coming to electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiations are nothing but light. That is, it is a form of energy that is traveling through space. Now we all know that light exhibits two characteristics of particle as well as of wave, and it travels in the form of a wave. Now those of you who have been to oceans and beaches, it is very easy for you to visualize what a wave is all about. What is the structure of the wave? You see, waves are simply disturbances in the physical medium that result in vibrations or oscillations. Electromagnetic waves are also similar to these waves, with the only difference being that they are made up of two components. As the name suggests, they contain both electric as well as magnetic component. Let me show you this diagram in order to visualize it better and understand how both these components are present. You see, it is the three dimensions, x, y, and z axis. So electromagnetic waves contain magnetic as well as electric waves oscillating perpendicular to each other. So they are traveling alongside, but their position is such that they are perpendicular to one another. So we can say that electromagnetic radiations are actually electromagnetic waves that travel in the form of two perpendicular waves propagating at the speed of light. Now, any wave can be characterized on the basis of certain interrelated parameters. When we study the structure of a wave, this is how it is. I mean, it is propagating along the x-axis and there is a mean position and there are two extreme positions of the wave. The highest position, as you can see, is called as the crest and the lowest peak is called as the trough. So the first parameter which is very important that defines the characteristic of a wave is wavelength. Now wavelength is basically the difference between two consecutive crests or two consecutive troughs. It is measured in terms of meter. Second, we have frequency. Frequency is the number of waves that pass through a particular point at a given time. The unit of measuring frequency is hertz. Then we have speed. Speed is basically the rate with which the wave is propagating. And electromagnetic waves propagate with the speed of light. Last is the amplitude. Amplitude is basically the position or the distance between the mean position, that is the x-axis, and the peak of the crest or peak of the trough. Now, all electromagnetic waves have different wavelengths and frequencies. Electromagnetic waves of different frequencies are given different names because they are obtained from different sources and they have different effect of matter. All these electromagnetic waves are often arranged in order of decreasing frequency and increasing wavelengths. This arrangement is called as the spectrum or the electromagnetic spectrum. This is how an electromagnetic spectrum is depicted, and it has basically 7 regions, the central being the visible spectrum region. Now, the visible spectrum is actually the most narrow region of the spectrum, and it contains light that is actually visible to the naked eyes. As we see on the right side of the spectrum, the infrared radiations are the ones with low frequency and longer wavelengths. These radiations are actually all around us and they are not harmful to us because the frequency is very little and so the energy associated with them is also little. This portion of the region includes infrared radiations, it has microwave radiations, and it has radio waves. When we see on the left side of the spectrum, we see the radiations that have higher frequencies and shorter wavelengths. Now these radiations are harmful because the energy associated with them is also high. These radiations include the X-rays, the UV rays, and the gamma rays. That is why you see we are suggested to wear a sunscreen when we go out in the sun, because sun gives off UV radiation which can be harmful to our skin. X-rays are also pretty harmful, and that is why we are given protective gloves when we are dealing with that instrument. Then gamma rays has the highest frequency and is the most dangerous, but fortunately the Earth's atmosphere absorbs gamma radiations and therefore we are protected from it by nature. Now that we have a general idea about the components of spectroscopy, it is time to get back to our original topic, which was spectroscopy. Now, spectroscopy is a very broad field and it has a number of subdivisions. Let us have a general idea of what are the techniques that form the entire spectroscopy. See, spectroscopy can be classified basically on 3 ways. First, it can be differentiated on the basis of the sample that is being examined. Secondly, it can be differentiated on the type of the electromagnetic radiation that we are using. And thirdly, it can be differentiated on the basis of the interaction between the matter and the electromagnetic radiations. First, we will consider the classification based on the matter that is being observed. According to the sample that is being analyzed, spectroscopy can be of following 2 types. It can be atomic spectroscopy and can be molecular spectroscopy. Now, as the name suggests, atomic spectroscopy is the one where we are dealing with atoms, and molecular spectroscopy is when we examine the entire molecule. Okay, now comes the classification of spectroscopy based on the kind of interaction that we see between the electromagnetic radiations or the matter. In other words, it is the kind of result that we obtain when a matter is irradiated with electromagnetic radiations. I mean how it reacts to that kind of stimulus. On that basis, we have 3 kinds of spectroscopy. The first being absorption, second emission, and third scattering. In absorption spectroscopy, what happens is the matter absorbs the electromagnetic radiation and the atoms move from lower energy level to higher energy level. So this includes atomic absorption spectroscopy and other molecular techniques also, like infrared spectroscopy. Second, we have emission spectroscopy. Now in this, the radiation is actually emitted by the matter. The substance first absorbs energy and then emits a part of this electromagnetic radiation as well. Now, the example of such kind of spectroscopy is luminescence, like spectrophlorimetry. Third, we have scattering spectroscopy, and a very good example of this kind of spectroscopy is Raman spectroscopy. So what it does, it measures the amount of the light that a substance scatters at certain wavelengths, and then we observe the spectra that is obtained on that basis. Okay, the final classification is based upon the region of the electromagnetic spectrum that is used on the matter or that is being used in that spectroscopic technique. According to the kind of electromagnetic radiations that we use, the spectroscopic techniques are given different names. For example, when we are using UV radiations, the name given is UV spectroscopy. When we are using IR radiations, the name given are IR spectroscopy. There are also two very important types of spectroscopies named as nuclear magnetic resonance and mass spectroscopy, and both these kind of techniques use the radio frequencies and then they carry out the analysis. Okay, we finally come on the general principle involved in spectroscopy. So the basic fundamental principle of any spectroscopic technique is that there is an interaction of electromagnetic radiations with matter. So what happens is the matter that is to be examined or analyzed is irradiated with the electromagnetic radiation. That means it falls on it, and then this stimulus causes changes in the matter, and the emitted radiation or the absorbed radiation is recorded by the instrument. The result of this stimulus is obtained in the form of a graph, and this graph is called as the spectra. See, here is an example of the spectra, the kind of result that we obtain from a spectroscopy technique. And this is actually the spectra that we obtain from the infrared spectroscopy. As you can see, there are two axes. The y-axis has the transmittance. It is actually the energy of the electromagnetic radiation that is received by the detector. And then on the y-axis, we have the wavelength of the electromagnetic radiation. Okay. So that will be all for now. Since we were just discussing the basics of spectroscopy, these are the basic points that we should keep in mind when we get into the actual study of this topic. Next, I will try to take up IR spectroscopy, but for now, revise and try to get your concepts clear so that the next lecture is more, you're able to understand better. So that will be all. Thank you. Take care.